How's it guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got a little bit of something different. It is a tackle talk, but we're on the beach, as you can see. A little bit of a different scenery as opposed to in my room. So yeah, you can see the surf behind me is massive. I'm not even going to try and put a bait in that, obviously. So yeah, let's get right into it. So today's video is all about the sardine run, traces, tackle, all of that stuff. It's a heavily requested video. So yeah, I'm going to run you through exactly what to use, what rod I recommend, reel, line, everything. So we're going to just basically break it down for you guys. So the traces components will be 250 pound steel. I wouldn't use anything lighter or heavier. Reason being, we don't go any heavier than the 250 pound. I know a lot of guys like to use like 450, etc. Especially because they have the idea that there's big sharks in the area. The reason we use 250 is for the reason being that it goes in between the shark's teeth. That 450 pound in between the shark's teeth can get easily bitten off. It almost acts like a pair of side cutters when he clenches down in his jaw. So the 250 pound is just enough to get in between his teeth and not cut you off. And it's also more than strong enough. It's not going to break off the minute you put pressure, and that sort of stuff. Another hook I'm going to be using is the Eagle Claw 18-0. Guys, before we carry on with the video, there's something very important that I missed out, and I didn't even do myself in the video, but I definitely did when I got home. Is please make sure to fish your hooks barbless. So make sure you squish all the barbs on all of your hooks you use for sard run. The reason being is it reduces the amount of time the fish is out of the water for. It's easier to remove, and it's definitely 100% more efficient. So please guys, just do it for me. Do it for the fish, do it for yourself as well. And yeah, fish responsibly. Thank you. The reason I'm using 18-0, the Eagle Claws, they're quite cheap, inexpensive. You do lose a lot of traces in sardine runs, so you don't want to use something that's going to break the bank. I remember last year I lost 12 traces, 12 fish in the span of about 3 or 4 days. So it's definitely worth using something slightly cheaper. On the braid side of things, your leader, don't go anything lighter than 220 pound unless you're throwing your throw baits slightly further out, so then you start using like 200 pound traces with 180 pound leader, and then you can look at going about 50 pound, 65 pound, but it's still ideal to use something heavier. On the reel side of things, with the reel you want to ideally use anything from 80 pound up. So you take off all the line on your reel currently, you put straight 80 pound or 100 pound, and you fish it straight like that. I would recommend that you use reels that are like anything between the Gosa. You can use the 20k or the 25k. Obviously your Stellas, your dog fights, those sort of higher class reels from the 20,000 size up. When you go through the pen range of reels, I would use something from the 8,500 up, as well as your Dower reels. You want to go for about an 8,000 size. Purely just because of light capacity, your drag is a lot better on it. I wouldn't use a BG range. BGs tend to break off the first fish or so. The drags aren't built for that type of heavy sort of fishing. So yeah, I definitely use something a little bit more decent. With rods, definitely want to go for something in the horizon range, with the XH or the double XH. A lot of questions I also get is the XH built tough enough for it? It definitely is. I would not underrate that rod. That rod is super powerful. I used it last year. It has more than enough pulling power and is somewhat comfortable, more comfortable than using the double XH for some anglers. But the double XH definitely is the rod that I would recommend if you want to really put your back into it, especially with a long drag. Along with the horizon range, you want to use something that is rated 6 to 8 ounce, 7 to 9 ounce, around that area. Unless obviously using your slightly heavier multipliers, you use a 9 to 10 ounce rod, and then you'd go from there. So with your multipliers as well, a lot of guys like to use multipliers. I wouldn't use anything less than a 50, the size range obviously. You can use lever drags. It is a bit difficult to cast, but if you can get the casting right, definitely use the lever drag. They are more than powerful and probably more recommendable than a grinder, especially if you put your 80 or 100 pound backing, and then you put like 200 meters of about 0.65, 0.7, something like that, like heavy nylon on, with a wind on leader of about 2 mils. and you should be set and ready to go. The nylon just helps with a little bit of the stretch, especially when you're fighting those bigger sharks. When they're peeling drag and stuff like that, it just does help so that you don't snap off or have any other complications regarding that. So yeah. So with this steel, I like to make my traces about 2 meters long, somewhere around there. So you obviously take your steel out like normal. That is, I'll show you how to measure 2 meters, or roughly 2 meters. I usually take it from there to there, twice, about a meter, no, it's about 2 meters long. Then you snip it. Then take your hook. See there, I've got a 18 eagle claw. You make it just a general snell knot. Put it through the back, like that. Hold it down with your fingers. You wrap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You take the tag in, you put it straight through the back of the hook, like that. Take your pliers, hold both sides, give it a good tug. There we are. See, the snell is nicely done, nice and tight. You don't need to burn it, it's not necessary. A lot of guys do like burning it, so if that's your preference, definitely do it. Then you get to the other side, the tag end side. This is where you want to put your beads and your sorrel on for your sinker. So I've got a size 3 swivel. You don't need to go bigger than that usually. Then I've got my beads, normal beads obviously. Alright, and then the T-swivel. So you can buy slightly bigger T-swivels that'll fit the 250 pound. Unfortunately I haven't got any. So the other option then is to use a normal size 5 swivel. Slide your bead on first. Just slide your bead on. Then you go for your swivel. Put that on. And then your other bead. Slide that on as well. All the way down. Then you get to your swivel, your size 3 swivel. Put your skills through like that, like normal. Pinch it down with your pliers. So you're holding it like that, and then you just wrap once, twice over, push it back through the eye of the swivel on the opposite side of where this piece is sticking out. So you push it through like that. Hold your swivel and you pull it tight. So it basically comes out like that. You grab the left hand like that and you do your twists, your AY twists. 1 twist, 2 twists, and then just normal twists over and around. Right. And you straighten your swivel so it looks nice and straight. All sorted. There we are, you can see the wraps, everything's nice and neat. Then you cut your tag end off, right on the edge there. Last thing you need to do is these beads you can see are still loose. Those need to be fixed in place. A lot of guys use crimps to put the beads to lock them in place. I don't like using crimps. I prefer to use a bit of nylon. So the nylon I use is T-line. It's 0.09 millimeters. That is about, what does it say, 42 pounds or 42 kilo. All you do is you measure your hook snoot. I like to take it with these bigger traces up to about middle of my arm here. So about that long. You take your line like that. Take your line like that. You wrap it once, make a loop. Go under, over, under, over, under and over, under and over 4 times, 4 or 5 times. Just a normal figure of 8. Move it down to your fingers. Grab this section with your pliers. Wrap and pull as tight as you can. Take your tag ends. Cut that off. There you can see the locker knot. Take the other side of the beads. See there's the stopper knot. Take the other side and you repeat the same process again. So it's just a loop, under, over, under, over, under and over 4 or 5 times. I like to do it 4 times. Pull it nice and tight like that. Push it all the way down. And then repeat. Just pull, push it down, and then you pull tight and lock it. Right, same thing, cut your tag ends off. There we go, you can see the beads are not going anywhere, they're staying in place. They're locked in one place. So there you go, your trace is not done. Now that we've got the trace out of the way, we're just going to do a bit of general talk about how to hook the fish, what you need to do, etc, etc. Obviously while I'm down there I'll do a bait demonstration. I'll show you guys exactly how I do it, but for the time being I can just basically explain to you. So when you're down there, you obviously follow the netters and that sort of stuff. You find the netters, you sit on the beach, on the tackle, get your rods ready, and wait in anticipation. The minute those first nets come through, you can grab all the sardines and stuff on the sides of the nets that are falling out. That's still fine. Just don't go into the guy's net and grab his sardines, because then he's going to obviously get angry with you. That's a stop. So you can either do that or you can buy crates of sards, whatever you want to do. Usually what I do is I go and take my bait box, run down to the shore. As they start falling out of the net, I just grab a whole handful in bunches, throw them in my cooler box, put a bit of water and ice, and then you just sit like that. Basically that's your bait for the whole day. You pin about 3 or 4 through the ice on your hook, you wrap it all the way down about halfway, you leave the tails loose, and then you just watch where the fish are on the shore break. You can basically almost choose your fish. You basically just throw and lob your baits where the fish is, and then the minute you feel that bite, you basically just lock up your drag and just hold on for dear life. Because the minute you start giving that fish line, the minute he starts getting momentum and energy, he's going to just basically spool you. So you want to try and get as much pressure on that fish as fast as possible, and basically just hold him until he gets tired, and then hope for the best. Obviously you got to have respect for the other guys on the beaches. Some of them are still novices, don't really know what they're doing. So any advice you can give to anybody else is a bonus, and good for you. So yeah, when you're busy fishing in amongst all the guys, just make sure you're not over anyone or no one's over you. Just like be compliant with everyone. The minute you hook a fish, try and get it away from the crowd as much as possible. Obviously the fish is the fish, he owns the ocean. So you've got to just basically just follow him all along the beach and just make sure that he doesn't cut you off, or no one else cuts you off or something like that. So yeah, that's basically all of what I can tell you for now, until I get down there and I'll show you guys exactly what to do, how exactly to do it. So yeah, thanks guys for coming. You can find me on Instagram at Keenan_Tocker_angling, or you can find me on Facebook, Keenan Tocker, just my name. And then, yeah, you guys can also comment down below if you have any questions that you would like me to answer. I'm more than willing to answer them for you. You can DM me, yeah, do whatever you need to do. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit a like, and please share the video if you want to. Thank you very much.